Factorizing trinomial expressions. Let's try 2 examples. So here's the general idea. I want you to factorize something that looks like this. But notice there's only 3 pieces. I want 4 pieces. So keep the first piece and keep the last piece. But you see that middle piece there? You're going to break that up into 2 smaller pieces. Okay? But how do I know which pieces to use? Let's take a time out. Let's go off to the side and do some scratch work. Give me one of these ones. Call this whatever you want. I'm not going to give it a name. I'm just going to use it. All right? Now go back over here. Multiply those 2 numbers. And whatever that is, put that in the top. And then take this number and drop it right there. Boom. Okay? Now let's play a little game. I need you to find 2 numbers, these pink ones. Give me 2 numbers that if I multiply these 2 numbers, this is what I get. But if I take those numbers and I add them, this is what I get. There's only one combination for that, right? It would be these 2 numbers here. Because what's 8 times -5? Boom. But what's 8 plus -5? Boom. So this is the winning combination. Now take these 2 numbers and put them back in there. And why don't you attach some x's to them? So notice that we're being honest. We haven't cheated. What's 8x minus 5x? It's 3x, right? So this is true. But what was the purpose? Why in the world did we turn 3 into 4 pieces? Well, you see, now that you have 4 pieces, you can employ the idea of group factoring. Yes, yes, yes. And that's what we've been doing. So look at the first pair and be like, all right, what's the GCF here? And do the same thing for the other pair. And these steps should look familiar, right? Throw in some brackets, why not? Fully factorize the expression, okay? Fully factorize it, box it in, and let's try one more problem. Okay, let's try one more. So the idea is always the same. If you have 3 pieces, try to turn it into 4 pieces, where the middle piece gets broken up. And if there's no number here, if it's empty, just put a 1. And then do what we did before. Multiply these 2 numbers and put it in the top. This number goes in the bottom. And then you got to multiply and add. So what are the 2 numbers that make that happen? Well, they would be these numbers here, right? -12 and 7. And by the way, if you flip-flop them, it's the same answer, right? You could switch them. As long as the 12 is negative, you could switch them as long as this one's negative. Now bring them back in here. Attach some x's to them, and then just go group factoring all the way to the end. And of course, you want to box in your answer.